Hello, Dr. L.A. acupuncturist here. Welcome back to Postpartum Series Part 5. Today I'm going to focus on the mental load. Gosh, I could probably go on about this topic for a very long time, and maybe I will today. As you all have noticed, my videos are not short. There's just a lot to cover on all of these topics, and I think they don't get talked about enough. So the mental load, I see it all the time on social media. I talk about it with all of my mom's group, my mommy friends. And the mental load, for those that maybe do not know, so if you're watching this channel for educational purposes, if you're a practitioner, maybe looking to support more perinatal patients or clients, the mental load is it's like an invisible blob that lives in a mom's brain. And I think what is difficult about it is that it's really hard to put into words. It's like everything that you feel that weighs, but you can't quite explain it. It's the things that a lot of women may complain about their partners or husbands, whatever, family members, and they're like, well, just tell me what it is and I'll fix the one thing, right? Like I notice in male-female relationships, the man is very quickly to want to just change it. And it's so many things that nobody can really fix for you. And, even with all the help in the world and in my personal situation with this postpartum time, we've had a lot of really great support. I have a very supportive husband. Our family has been around us. We've had wonderful friends. We've had doulas, midwives, lots of people who care for us in our community. But at the end of the day, I think what is very challenging, and even this is pregnancy as well, it is your body going through the experience, and it's so much transformation all day, every day. And postpartum is the same way and more once you have your baby. And I think what is challenging and what I've been reflecting on is that it is really wild, the experience of going through pregnancy for almost a year and whatever you go through before pregnancy of trying to conceive, which for some people it's quick, for some people it's longer. And then your baby arrives and there's the postpartum bubble, right? And I talked about this in my newborn phase, the first 6 weeks. It's beautiful, it's magical. And that's the time also where you have the most support. And something I will talk about more is the post 6-week phase when life kind of goes back to normal. And then it's hard. The help starts dropping off. And I think that's where the mental load, it's there in the first 6 weeks, but it really kicks in after people start to be like, okay, we brought you your meal. We came to see you. We came to hold your baby. And then it becomes you and your partner on a day-to-day. And for the mom in particular, I'll say breastfeeding alone is its own mental load because it is all day, every day. And for a lot of moms who breastfeed, sometimes it's 3 months, 6 months, a year, sometimes longer, but particularly this first year where the breast milk for a lot of babies is their only source of food. So that alone for moms is a huge weight. There's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of pressure on baby gaining weight. And if baby's not gaining weight, there's a lot of blame on the mom that your supply is not enough and you have to supplement. And I think this is where it starts to get really tricky. And in particular, as well, as babies start to sleep more through the night, your breasts have to accommodate for that. And sometimes you still have to wake up and pump or hand express or something to alleviate engorgement. There's risk of getting clogged ducts, which can lead to mastitis. Like there's so many things that the woman's body are dealing with that fall on mom. And no matter how much it is a weight that nobody can carry for you. And I've definitely felt it myself. And yeah, my partner, as supportive as he is, he can't carry the weight of breastfeeding for me. Like it is still on me, and it is really tough some days. And I've had days where I've just been like, I don't feel like breastfeeding today, but I have to because my baby needs to eat. And for me in particular, I decided to wait for 4 weeks until I started pumping. So even in the first 4 weeks, it was really hard because I was only breastfeeding. However, I will say because I was mostly home and I had a lot of support, it was easier for that fact. Now, once we went beyond 4 weeks, beyond 6 weeks, and even now we're here at 5 months, it's just me and my baby a lot of days. My husband's working and we don't have family that lives near us. And so the planning of pumping and breastfeeding becomes so tiring, especially for anyone that's back to work. And I'm going to make a video focus more on this later about pumping and being back to work and planning for it. But it gets so wild if you're pumping. I mean, for anybody who's exclusively pumping, you have to pump for anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 30 minutes, and then sometimes feed your baby right after from a bottle. So then it's like a full hour or longer, and then you have to do it every 3 hours. So it really is just like your entire day. So breastfeeding alone is exhausting. And then if there's anything that comes up with your baby that they need extra attention, or if they spit up a lot, they have to maybe sit upright for 20 to 30 minutes after they feed. On top of that, there's managing the nap schedule, and sometimes they fall asleep on you, and maybe you had plans to like get up and use the bathroom or take a shower, and you can't do that because maybe if you move them, they're going to wake up and you need them to nap. Like it just really becomes this constant spiral, and taking care of a house, just maintaining your own body and wanting to get back into maybe some sort of physical movement or feeling like yourself. Maybe it's just trying to plan with friends and family becomes so difficult because it's like, well, I want to go out and socialize, but okay, I have to plan now around my baby's naps, around breastfeeding. I know sometimes breastfeeding in public isn't always comfortable for some people. For me, it's kind of depends on who I'm with, and the comfort of where I'm sitting. And so it's like, okay, well, if I'm not going to breastfeed, then I have to think about pumping. That's why I ended up getting a wearable pump. So it really is so much weight on mom. And then, there's also just the mental health aspect of it where you might feel a dip emotionally. And then there's maybe the worry about, well, I'm feeling down. And when you go to the pediatrician, they're doing a mental health scale for mom, the depression and anxiety scale, the tests. And then it's like, well, if I score a certain way, then, there could be risk that somebody could come and assess me and my baby. And then it's a whole nother thing. Like there really is so much. And it really is so hard for anyone to hold that for you. And so I think for me, what my saving grace has been is just other moms who have babies the same age. I have a mom's group, as I've mentioned, that we all have babies the same age, and I have several close friends who have babies either same age, a few months ahead, a few months behind, or everywhere kind of in between that have been really helpful. And I think one of my closest friends has said, it's everything and nothing all at once. And there's so much, it's everything you can't describe, but some days you just feel overwhelmed, maybe helpless, maybe just so overtired. And I think that's also what's tough is that you never really get a mental break. Even once babies start to sleep more through the night, like I said, you might be engorged, you might have to wake up, so you're still waking up. Like you really don't get a full night's sleep from the time your baby is born. And for those that are familiar with how uncomfortable pregnancy is at the end, and some don't sleep well at all throughout all of pregnancy. So, you're thinking about 2 solid years of no good sleep. And so what that also does for your mind and being able to think clearly and plan, from the Chinese medicine lens, taxation and being overworked and overtired taxes your spleen. It also puts where the stress and the sitting a lot stagnates, what's called your qi, which keeps your blood from moving. That can lead to what we call blood deficiency. And so in Chinese medicine, your liver is responsible for planning and organization. And so when all your systems are down, when your spleen is overtaxed and can't hold blood, can't make blood, the liver kind of also gets out of sorts. So, and then the spleen is relating to holding blood, but also it's related to overthinking, overworrying. So that puts a wear and tear on just overall vitality in the body. And it gets really tiring. And so I'm just really here to speak about it, to be a platform for the mental load. And I think overall, myself now going through this experience and talking to a lot of other moms is like never wanting to create more mental load for anyone. And I'm sorry if I've ever done that to anybody. It's never my intention, especially now. And it can be really hard too. I think sometimes trying to go to other moms who are also overwhelmed, sometimes you really want to unload your own mental load, but you don't want to add to somebody else's. And sometimes talking to another friend or family member that's maybe not in the same phase can be helpful, but also maybe they don't understand. And so this is a time to get all the support, but a mental health professional, a therapist is really good for just being able to talk through these things. Like, even if it's like, I can't actually pinpoint it, sometimes just being able to talk it out. From an energetic perspective, we as women have a tendency to hold everything in our minds in this constant to-do list. If I got to do the laundry, I've got to get the bottles ready. I've got to make sure I freeze the milk. There's a whole nother mental load there. Is like, what do I freeze? What do I keep in bottles? How do I know when? It really is, it's a lot. And so I encourage everyone to have a therapist or somebody, some sort of therapy where you're able to have for yourself. And maybe it's just an hour a week where you get to unload everything that you're holding in your mind, because it truly is exhausting. And what we carry in our minds goes down to our hearts. It can create imbalances in the body. Our necks and shoulders are our direct, that throat is our direct carrier of all that we carry up in our heads. So it gets stuck in here and creates dysregularity in the rest of the body. And then, you're breastfeeding, you already have neck and shoulder pain. And even more when you carry everything up here and not letting everything flow through the body. So it's a lot, everyone. I am having a hard time myself just putting all the words down, but I wanted to speak about it and have this platform for anybody that wants to put in the comments, describe what the mental load is for you, what it means, what it feels like in your mind, body, spirit. Feel free to share. I have a lot more to talk about in my subsequent videos, diving more into post 6 weeks, 6 to 12 weeks postpartum. Now I'm here at 5 months. And so I'm trailing a little bit behind, but it's kind of nice to be farther in now because I can speak about these things that already happened without so much of a mental fog. Feeling a little more rested now that my baby pretty much sleeps through the night. But the mental load never really goes away, you guys. So I'm here for you, here for suggestions, advice that anybody may have. But I feel like the mental load, we have to carry it together as moms. So I encourage you, have a therapist or some sort of mental health professional to help you, and find a mommy group that knows what you're going through, because really no one else understands and it's really tough. So I'm sending a lot of love to you all today. Keep following. Please like and subscribe to my channel, Dr. L.Ac. Subscribe to the postpartum series. You can also take a look on my channel for the pregnancy series if you yourself are pregnant and going through anything, difficult morning sickness, back pain, whatever it may be, or just planning for pregnancy, planning for postpartum, whatever it may be. Take a look. I am here for you, and I have a lot of supportive videos. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.